Moving forward on tax reform, with Democrats losing at the polls with their politics of obstructionism, Republicans feel there is a chance some moderate Democrats may join their efforts to cut taxes. The House Freedom Caucus has been among the firmest supporters of a big tax cut. Here now, Andy Briggs, Republican Congressman of Arizona and a Freedom Caucus member. So, first of all, tell us how the Georgia election, the reaction to we had a segment on how Pelosi's really catching help from her own party. That might help you guys bring some Democrats over, no?
Well, you would think. I mean, I think just for policy-wise, they'd want to come over. But, I mean, I think it's obvious now that they need to change their strategy, and maybe some of that strategy is to come along with the Republicans on some of the Trump agenda, which includes some tax reform. Have
you talked to any Democrats about maybe coming over, seeing whether you have anything in common on taxes?
I actually have talked to a couple that I talk to on a regular basis. I think that at least one or two of them are thinking about it. They're thinking about it.
Well, there were 18 so-called blue dog Democrats, a term you don't hear much anymore because there aren't many left. These are moderate Democrats who used to caucus sometimes with the Republicans. They met with Mnuchin and other members of the Trump economic team on Tuesday night. Kind of interesting. It was the night before the big election. I imagine there may be a few more of them joining with Mnuchin, at least in talks.
Yeah, I would guess, because, look, they have to come to some realization that when they look at what's happening to the Democrats, they need to change their message. Their message right now is just one that doesn't include any policy. But the people who voted for Donald Trump included the blue dog Democrats, and they want things like tax reform. They want things like illegal immigration controlled. They want to see something done on health care. This is the Republican agenda, and some of them are in competitive districts where they have to moderate their tone, which is why they do. And so they need to be looking at this.
Well, let's
seriously.
talk about Republicans for a second, because the agenda is not absolutely clear from there either, particularly on this border tax. A lot of us think that now is not the time to be adding a new tax. We should just be talking about taking away some of the taxes that the government is taking. Paul Ryan did not mention the border tax when he spoke about taxes yesterday. Does that mean it's dead?
I don't know if you can take it that it means it's dead, but I can tell you this. It's really close to falling off the cliff. I don't know anybody who really supports the border adjustable tax, and that's in Congress.
Does that include Congressman Brady, quickly?
I think he kind of supports it. I think he supports it.
Yeah, he's the one left. All right, we want to switch to an issue that's of importance to you because you're from Arizona. President Trump making a big policy announcement in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, telling reporters immigrants coming to the U.S. should be prepared to support themselves on day one. Take a listen.
That's why I believe the time has come for new immigration rules which say that those seeking admission into our country must be able to support themselves financially and should not use welfare for a period of at least 5 years.
Now, Congressman, you're from Arizona. Immigration, big issue for you folks down there. I thought this rule was already on the books. A lot of people thought that it was impossible for at least 5 years for immigrants to get welfare, but I don't know. What's the latest on that?
Well, it is in the rule, but he's also talking about broadening the classification. So everybody, all immigrants are going to have to be able to support themselves for 5 years. That is critical to this country. We passed something in Arizona. This is just common sense. This is what we need in this country. That's why he got such a rousing applaud, and that's why I'm applauding him as well.
Well, we had 8 years of the Obama administration. They kind of turned a blind eye to a lot of violations from immigrants on a number of different issues. Isn't the key really enforcement? I mean, you could put a dozen new laws on the books, and if they're not enforced, it won't do any good. You really got to reinforce it on the ground level, right?
Absolutely right. You have to enforce, and when you do enforce, what we're seeing is this idea that people are going to not come because they know we're going to enforce our immigration laws. That's so critical. Otherwise, why have the law? Why have the law?
All right. Congressman, we want to let you go, but first, just got to ask, is there going to be a recess, yes or no, if you don't have a tax cut by the time the recess is due?
I hope not. I hope not.
Okay, we'll see. Congressman Briggs, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I hope